Welcome to A Cup of Tea. This morning I want to talk to you about your emergency call. Everyone needs an emergency call. And what is an emergency call? An emergency call is that call that you make in an emergency when you are feeling some kind of way, you're going through something, you are at your wit's end, you're literally at the ledge and the edge, and you don't know what to do. You need to be able to have somebody that's going to, what I say, talk you off the ledge right before you get to the cliff and you feel like you're about to jump, and you need that person that I call it a VOR, which is your voice of reason. Somebody that's going to be able to speak into your life. Somebody that's going to be able to say something to you that's going to have an impact on your life to make you shift the direction of the thoughts that were sending you that way. Somebody that's going to help you get all of those jumbled things out of your mind and put them into proper perspective to make you look at life the right way. That's that emergency call. That call you know that you need to make because I can't take another thing. If somebody else calls me with something, if I hear some bad news again, if I just can't even take it, if somebody at my job do something, anything that pushes you to the brink, that thing that you thought you were going to get, that thing that you thought you were yours and you was waiting for some news or whatever the case may be, something in your life that has pushed you to the edge, broken dreams, stolen dreams, broken promises. People said things that they were going to do when you put your faith and you put your trust in them, and things just did not work out the way that you thought that they would work out. You had a plan, and that plan somehow it just didn't come to pass, and you had every single thing hinged upon that. You made some decisions and you knew in your heart of hearts that those were the right decisions to make, and somehow it just didn't turn out right, and you're just left stuck feeling, where do I go? What do I do? Those days when you just can't take another thing. Who are you going to call? What's that emergency call? Who are you going to call? And I know, aside from prayer, because I pray and I believe in praying, and I'm a praying woman, but sometimes we need to be able to have that person to call to say, listen, this is what's going on and this is how I'm feeling and I need help. So I want you to think about that person who you would call in the event of emergency. And there are 4 things that are, I'm going to call the criteria for having that person down as your emergency call. Does that person pray for you? Or will they pray with you? Because that's important. Prayer is a key component to that emergency call. If they're not praying for you, reconsider your emergency call. And I'm not talking about that emergency call when you just want to vent and then they're telling you all these negative things that you should do. No, I'm talking about that emergency call that calms you, that has the ability to soothe you, and has the ability to just make you take a step back and look at things for what they really are. And the second thing for your emergency call, can you call them anytime, day or night? It don't matter when it is. Can you call them? Because sometimes these emergencies, they happen all different times of the day. They happen all different times of the night. Can you call them? And do they believe in you? That's the third thing. Do they believe in you? Do they believe in your dream? Do they believe in what you're talking about? Can you trust them with your dream? Can you trust them with your gift when you call them? Can you trust them with whatever is going on? Enough to know that they are not going to judge you. Which leads me to my 4th and last thing. Can you be vulnerable with them? That probably should have been number 2 right after do they pray for you, because that vulnerability is so very important. You need to be able to cry and do whatever it is and say whatever it is that you need. If you're angry, you need to be able to say that. If you're hurting, you're upset, whatever is going on, you need to be able to have somebody that you can be transparent with. Somebody that can see you naked. And I'm not talking about in the physical, but I'm just talking about naked and still hold your dignity. Will they protect your dignity during your weak and your vulnerable moment? See, that's the person who you need to call in case of an emergency. So I want you to think about, who is my emergency call? And you need to have at least one emergency call. And if you don't have an emergency call, I need for you to evaluate your inner circle list, because somebody in your inner circle needs to be that emergency call. And it can be a family member, longtime friend, a co-worker, somebody that you met, somebody who meets those criteria, who will pray for you, who you can call anytime, day or night. Somebody that believes in you, and somebody that you can be vulnerable with. So I want you to assess your emergency call, because if you live long enough, you will need to make that emergency call. Who will it be? Thank you for sharing a cup of tea with me. I wish you peace and blessings.